plane landed safely in East Camelot. It was a long flight, and really cool to see the sunset or rise like 3 or 4 times. I'm the only person in my tour group who doesn't seem to have jet lag or need a nap at the hotel. I just want to begin sightseeing. Though some of my friends have questioned why I would visit East Camelot, one of the last great communist strongholds left in the world, why would I visit a country that hates Americans? But West Camelot, which is more or less a democracy, I hear, is more geared towards tourists capitalizing on the Arthurian legend. Granted, the Pendragon dynasty was the only time in the country's bloody history where it was actually united, especially during the reign of Arthur. It's always been divided in many different ways, under many different names throughout the centuries. The Turks, Mongols, Huns, and other groups have claimed parts of it as their own and lost it. Later today, we're going to visit the Order of the Lake, a Buddhist temple that's built on the spot of where the Lady of the Lake is rumored to have given Arthur the magical sword Excalibur.
Kelly's running late today.
Oh yeah, you know, that's not like her. I mean, she's usually the most punctual of all of us.
Well, King Pellinor VIII of East Camelot is speaking at the UN, so traffic's a nightmare right now. Another reason to hate the UN. Hey, check this out. Due to Mayor de Blasio's ineptitude, here are all the supervillains who are currently at large. Mr. I Am Contagious. He possesses all the world's known diseases. Can cause instant decline in health to anyone within a 10-mile radius.
Oh my god, my brother Prometheus dated him for a while.
Obviously, he didn't know about the disease thing.
Oh, no, he did. It was 2007, and Prometheus was, you know, just convinced that bug chasing was in vogue at the time.
Next profile, the Rash.
Why is he called the Rash?
He's called that because his skin blemishes can emit deadly beams, notably when scratched.
Oh my god, that's my ex, Tom.
You know, I just realized you're more like your brother than you like to admit.
Excuse me?
You both have a habit of pursuing unhealthy relationships and taking in weirdos.
That's true. I mean, Asher's still staying with me, so...
Asher?
You know, that one-night stand I had who just never went away. Kind of like a human dingleberry who just hangs there forever.
Skip.
What is it?
The hospital. Kelly's just been rushed to the emergency room. She was injured by a perp.
Candy? Oh, Pius! When did you get here?
Do I look like Pius to you?
Candy!
Would Pius even wear this color?
Well, it would depend on the time of year, really. I mean, Easter I wear a purple robe, Christmas a pink robe, and, oh yes, All Souls Day is when I would wear orange.
So, where are we going to go tonight, dear?
Nowhere. Absolutely nowhere, because the traffic is horrendous.
Oh, right, because of that King Pellinor visit. The UN.
You do realize that the UN brings in about $3.6 billion annually for, you know, our lovely city here, right?
Oh, whatever. I mean...
What?
It's just ridiculous that everything in this city goes topsy-turvy for some bloodthirsty butcher like King Pellinor VIII.
Well, this is true. But I really wish our president would stop antagonizing him on Twitter.
Well, it's certainly more effective than the last president's way of dealing with him. Okay, I'm going to draw this invisible line in the sand.
Is that supposed to be an Obama impression?
And
I think so.
you are not to cross over it. Oh, you did. Well, that was very, very naughty. I don't approve of that. And so, I'm going to draw another invisible line in the sand. And you won't cross it. Oh, you
What is he
did.
rambling on about, my dear? I lost
I much
him.
prefer a real leader like Vladimir Putin. You know, I was actually friends with him while I was living in exile in Russia.
Pius, did you see this thing that I found on Twitter? Pootie thinks Donnie's hotter than you.
Oh, sorry, Pius. It's true.
Vlad, is this true? Do you find Donnie hotter than me? I'm a pretty priest. I'm a pretty priest, goddammit.
Hey, Fritz. What do you think of this new sign? Should we put it on the front door?
I pity you the day you ever actually need a cop. I mean, you do realize that as a park ranger, I'm in law enforcement, right?
Listen to me. You're nothing more than a play cop. But you're still being used by the evil elite capitalist system.
Evil elite capitalist system.
You gotta remember, communism is, after all, a much more fair system than capitalism.
Have you ever been to a non-capitalist country?
Well, no.
Then shut up!
What's eating you? You've been acting weird the last few days.
I've just been thinking a lot about my friend Kelly. She's a fellow ranger, and the other day she approached a weirdo in the park, and he messed her up really bad. And, you know, it was just a normal day. She kissed her husband and her kids goodbye that morning, and looked forward to hanging out with them. She got off duty, and she didn't go home that night. So when you start going on and on about bad cops, which yes, there are some bad cops out there, and yes, they should be held accountable, but when you go on and on about that shit, you have no idea what it does.
Sorry to hear about your friend, and
I just need to be alone.
alright, I got you.
I found something in my hotel room. A copy of Idylls of the King by Alfred Lord Tennyson, the most banned and yet beloved book in all of East Camelot. Tennyson was inspired to write it after traveling to this country back in 1858. And we've been here about a week and a half now. Being that it's a communist country, it's a government-run tour. Naturally, we're being fed a lot of subtle propaganda, but it's also the start of their 100-year flood. So much of the trip is being rerouted last minute, and we're seeing things that we normally wouldn't see. Everywhere we go, the tour guides tell us how much the government cares about them and takes care of them, but we see homeless people everywhere. People with missing limbs, writhing in the mud. Does the government really care about these people? We keep being told that the government will be relocating all the people from the towns, which will soon be hit by the flood. Yeah, but will the government really do this? It is a country where the high population rates have resulted in rules allowing families to only have one child. 2 children if you're considered a minority group. After that, it's mandatory abortion time. Communism seems like a fair system on paper. Everybody gets a fair share of the money, but in practicality, someone always wants to be on top. And for that, one needs others to be downtrodden.
Earlier today, President Trump met with King Pellinore VIII. The two men shook hands for 3 hours, 15 minutes, and 22 seconds, setting a new world record before going to a private screening of The Notebook.
Donnie finally found somebody with even daintier baby doll hands than him.
This is unacceptable. He's a bloodthirsty dictator. I mean, how could our president even fathom being friends with him?
Okay, now, 2 days ago, You and Candy were both bitching that Trump was going to get us killed by antagonizing Little Rocket Man. But now, he's getting along with him, so you're pissed off. But you make up your mind!
You know, he has a
Yes,
point.
he's a bloodthirsty dictator. And our president getting along with him is called diplomacy.
How are you not outraged by this?
I don't know. I mean, are we really going to get outraged by every single thing the president does?
I just keep thinking about the whole thing with Kelly. Is that going to have been you or me, you know?
Yeah. Well, serve and protect, duty and honor and all that.
Mm-hmm. I always knew it was a risk, but I didn't really think about it. I can't believe this guy is still going on and on at the UN.
We'll never forgive Bill Clinton for normalizing relations with that country.
Oh, come on. He was sticking a cigar and... Never mind.
That's why I like cigars.
Ew.
Claire, I just have to say I am so relieved that King Pellinor visit is over. He's back in East Camelot, and everything's returned to normal. No traffic jams, everything's running normal again.
That's why I like living in Connecticut. I don't have to deal with all that crap.
You know, I still can't believe you're married. Again.
A girl's gotta do what a girl's gotta do.
And even weirder, I can't believe your husband is 92.
And loaded.
Well, there is that, I guess. So what are you reading?
A letter from my step-grandson?
Your step-grandson.
Anyway, he's in East Camelot now.
Really?
Yes.
Talk about irony. So what does he say?
Tomorrow we fly back home. It's been a wonderful trip. Everywhere, people have been so friendly and genuinely kind. Although I've been extremely homesick. The other day, a few of us snuck over to West Camelot. This is something tourists are able to do. However, people from Camelot are not permitted to do such things. I just learned that 5 students were killed trying to cross over to West Camelot last summer. But West Camelot? It's a fascinating place where the old world and the new world are combining. Modern skyscrapers everywhere with bamboo scaffolding. They've embraced Western commercialism. They have a mall, they have a McDonald's and a Pizza Hut.
In fact, Pizza Hut is so popular in West Camelot. There's a waiting room where the locals will wait for hours to be seated. American tourists are seated immediately.
It sucks. I mean, no wonder people hate us overseas.
I have to admit, I did feel some guilt after my meal, passing by those locals who are still sitting waiting.
I kind of like the idea of being seated before everyone else. Make me feel like royalty. You know, be looking down on all the rabble.
Claire, you suck.
Very well, but only when paid in advance.
Anyway, I've learned something about myself during this trip. Whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, I am a product of a capitalist society. I'm a consumer through and through. And as flawed as my home country is, I belong there. I love my name brands. I love fast food. I love overnight delivery. I love being able to talk trash about my president and my government. I love being able to troll online. I love my life. I am an American. And that, I love that too.